Here we are on the stone bubble of the $3,000 tournament. I have a pretty nice stack, about 1.5 times average. Here's the table. We have Dan Kelly over there, very good player. We chopped up our initial table, and here we are. About 170 people left, 169 pay. Hopefully we get in the money at least. That would be a pretty big disaster to bubble. Unfortunately, I busted the tournament in 50th place. I actually had a pretty nasty spot where I raised the 2.5 big blinds on the button with ace queen. I just got moved to a new table. And this guy, maybe 55 years old, who I did not know, but he had a lot of chips. He made it 8 big blinds, so 2.5 to 8. And I had 40 with ace queen. If this was an online tournament or against any kid, I would just snap shove, no problem. In this spot, I think if he makes it smaller, I should probably call, but once he makes it 8 big blinds, I think I just have to go all in. So I did go all in, and he instantly called me with ace king, and I was out. So it kind of sucked to bust a 40 big blind stack. But it is what it is. So anyway, 50th place, not what I'm going for, but it is what it is. We got $9,000 for that, 3 buy-ins. So at least we're giving ourselves opportunities. Next, I'm going to be playing a charity tournament with Brad Garrett. He invited me and my family to play, so that's fun. And then after that, we're going to the book launch for Mike Sexton's biography, Life's a Gamble. I actually read the whole book. It's great. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. But deep runs are frustrating. And it is what it is. It's what we signed up for.
Yeah, you're going right. I appreciate it. Maximum Hope Foundation, as you know, we take care of families who are caring for children with life-limiting illnesses. The past 12 months, we've helped about 165 families. And we're a little small foundation with 1 paid employee, everyone else who volunteered. And we're just grateful for all the help we got from so many people in this room. Sir, can I help you? What table are you looking for? 25. Table 25. Table 20. Where is table 25? I smell bourbon. Let's help this man. Table 25.
Here I am at the table with my dad, Larry Little. 3 ways. Larry checks. Probably doesn't have anything. I believe the board was 9-7-3. No, yeah, 9-7-3 turns 3. Continues to check. His 2 opponents. River's a king. Wants the pot. Dad's betting. Well, Dad has something. Dad bets. Quickly snapped off by Tori of Real Housewives of Atlanta on the left. Then we get a fold. Does my dad win? My dad clearly liked his hand. Bam. King 6, top pair. It's pretty good. Oh no. King with the worst kicker. Thin value bet gone awry. Bad beat. I got my dad to record this hand. I have nothing. Somehow I just always have nothing. I believe I had ace high and decided to check it down. I thought there was some marginal chance I could win. But sometimes it just makes sense to give up. Tori crushed all of us, by the way. That was enjoyable.
At the moment, Sunday,
Larry Little.
Just to you, let me tell you, on level 1, you start with 15,000. I was down to 4,000 after I lost the Queen's 4 to go out the 6. Luckily, the guy didn't have any more money. I'd been broke. And yet, I went on through a qualifier. So even if you get down early, don't get discouraged. Hang in there and fight. You still got time to pull it out and qualify. All of you tonight, by winning your way here, are going to be privileged to get a special book of Life's a Gamble. This is the Party Poker edition. This is courtesy of them. I'm going to sign the books, take pictures with you, whatever you want. But it's a fun read. It's not a how-to book, so you don't have to stay up tonight reading it. It's not going to help you. It will entertain you and make you laugh if you want to do that.
Here we are at the $1,000 Turbo. We're starting our daily ritual of getting to the Rio and cleaning up the table because it is filthy.
Fast track system, which allows you to buy in online and in the Bravo Poker lineup for all tournaments up to $1,500.
Hello. And my new rental car. It's actually an official, legitimate car. You can see. My previous car was horrible. It was like a go-kart. I just busted from the $1,000 turbo tournament. I didn't even know I was playing that tournament today, but they said it was a turbo, so I figured I'd hop in. I actually had no hands beyond my first double up. My first double up was actually pretty cool. Under the gun made it 250. Someone in middle position called. I made it 875 on the button out of my 5,000 stack. Both players called. It's probably a mistake with a lot of hands. Flop comes 9-4-3, 2 clubs. First person checks, second person just snap goes all in for 1.7 times the pot, give or take a little bit. And I, put my chips in because I had pocket kings. Did I mention I had pocket kings? I had pocket kings on 9-4-3. That opponent had pocket 8s, and I won. So from there, I got legitimately no hands for the next 6 hours or so. It was pretty ridiculous. I defended my blinds pretty well. For those who've been studying excelling at No Limit Hold'em, I used many of the tips discussed in excelling, and it worked out pretty nicely. I defended big blind. It would go like check, check, or I would check raise the flop, or I'd lead the flop. I stole a bunch of pots that way. One time I had the nut low. It was fun. My dad actually came up and watched behind me for about 2 hours, and he said I played exactly 1 pot. Then I told him that I actually had the nut low on that hand. I had 6-5 of hearts, and the board was something... Oh, let's think about this. So, middle position raised to 2 big blinds. I called on the button out of a 20 big blind stack with 6-5 of hearts, which is a little bit optimistic, but I'd seen this guy check some flops, check fold sometimes, and so I thought I'd be able to steal the pot a reasonable amount of the time. So, big blind calls, it comes Jack 3-2, so I don't really have the nut low. 4-3 is a nut low, but I have not a good hand. They both checked. I put out a 1/3 pot bet, and they just folded, so that was nice. One hand I defended big blind with Queen 9 versus this guy. Flop came King 10-3. I checked, he bet, and this guy had a horrible, horrible tell where he would sort of like hold his chips out and then splash them in whenever he had a nothing, and he would just put his chips in like a normal human whenever he had a good hand. And so I was planning to check fold on that board, but then he did the bet that, that bet. So I check shoved all in, and he instantly folded. So that was great. And then from there, I just had nothing all day. So I finally got in with Ace Jack. That was one of the better hands that I've seen. Someone raised at 2 big blinds. I shoved 13 big blinds. Person called pretty quickly. Probably a little bit of an optimistic call, but it worked out. Hey, there's a train. Hopefully trains are lucky. That did not work out for me because he won the pot. So I got a min cash first. Legitimate min cash of the summer, I think, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, today is the 4th of July. 4th of July, good luck train behind me. And I'm going to go take it easy. Everyone else is going to go out and go partying. I'm going to relax because tomorrow is a $5,000 tournament, and I really want to make a point to be as fresh as possible for the events that are very significant. Of course, every event at the World Series is significant, but 5Ks and 10Ks are particularly significant. So I'm going to relax, take it easy, and show up ready to play my best tomorrow. Likes the video. Hello, we are watching David Peters at the final table, and Matt Affleck. He is in trouble. There's Jesse. He looks uncomfortable. Myers. Look at this. This is the face of the most beautiful man at the Rio. David Peters. He's our roommate. He final table.
Go DP! Woo!
No spade.
The real David Peters! Remember there was a fake David Peters last year? the final card
How's
comes.
it feel, DP? Are you happy? Feels amazing.
That person.
You gotta talk loud enough for the audio bug.
So, here we are today in the tag team tournament. There's a boatload of people here. I busted the $5,000 tournament. I made a huge call for a 2 times average pot with pretty junky hand. Let's think about this. Early position raise, I called cutoff, 7-6 suited. Big blind re-raised. Initial guy folded, I called. A little bit splashy, but whatever. Flop came 4-3-2. 1 spade, I have 7-6 spades. I check, guy bets tiny, I call. Turns a 7. I check and he jammed 2 times the size of the pot. I wasn't buying it, so I called. He showed up with ace-king, so he needed exactly an ace or a king on the river to beat me. And they gave him a king, so that sucks. We're also playing a tag team tournament, though. And my dad's been playing for the last 2 hours, and he is currently the chip leader in the tournament. 4 hours in. That's pretty lucky. He has average stack when we get in the money. Sometimes you're on fire. Here's my dad playing a tag team tournament. He just called an all-in. Top pair.
Wow.
Straight draw, flush draw, into pair. Missed. Unbelievable. Finally
That
lost
is
the pot.
weird. The question is, did you teach him or did you?
Team member, you have made the money. All right, juniors, put your cards away.
Here we are, day 2 of the team tournament. As you can see, the rail is filled with people. Leading off with my mother. That should be fun. Hopefully she runs hot. We're down to 130 people, 130 teams. Maybe we'll all get a bracelet. Here we are at the start of day 2. We put my mom in first. Here she is, playing a pot. Doing her thing. Just like that. Push the pot to mama.
Mom's on fire.
Here's Dad. Dad hopped in second here in day 2. He's hanging out. And they ship him a pot. Ship it to Daddy. My dad bluffed off our chips. I come back, they give me aces on the first hand. That is lucky.
You're documenting this whole thing, huh?
Yes. So I asked my parents to record me a little bit while I was playing, and then this hand came up. So under the gun raised, middle position player called. I have 3 bets, something like 9 big blinds, maybe 8 big blinds out of my 25 big blind stack. It folds around to this guy in the big blind, I believe, and he called 4 bets. And before this hand, he told me that he loves my books. He talked to my mother all day yesterday while he was watching. They were waiting to tag in. And he really likes it. And he looks really comfortable. I'm sitting here thinking what to do for my last 20 big blinds or so. And I really got the vibe that he loved his hand. At some point he winked at me. What a fun spot. I had pocket queens. And I thought for a little bit, probably not as much time as I should have. But as you can see, I am somewhat in agony here with pocket queens because I think the guy has it. If you think the guy has it, you know what you got to do. And the answer is not go all in. At some point, it's just funny. We have a little laugh. And I realize I have 20 big blinds left if I fold. So, do I have the discipline? I do. So we made the final table. I have 10 big blinds. There's Doug Polk. He is the self-proclaimed best heads-up player in the world. John Gale, a few other players. Certainly a tough final table, but here we are. Well, here I am, about 10 hands into the day, all in, already. Actually, the player in the 2 seat, you can't really see him, he's behind the dealer, raised to 2.5 big blinds, and I shoved for about 10 big blinds. And I have ace-jack offsuit. I'm reasonably happy about this. The player, I believe, in the big blind tanked forever. And then the kid, you can see his little pink hat there, he eventually decided to pop it in there with Ace-7 offsuit. Which is normally great for me, because we have a bunch of equity, maybe 72% or something ridiculous. But the flop came Ace-7-5, all spades, so he has 2 pair, I had Jack of spades. Turn was a blank, and the river was another 7, so my opponent made a full house, and I was out.
The tag team event and the excitement that was going on in the tag team event seemed just palpable. Everybody loved it. People were dressing up for it. People were talking about it. And then I stumbled upon a story where I saw that Jonathan Little had started the tournament, played in orbit, and built up a little bit of a stack and then handed it off to his mom and his dad. Play a tournament and tag team with your son and then make a final table. It must have been really exciting.
Yeah, it's been incredible. It really has. And like you said, Rhea and I, we were able to play like the first 5 levels on day 1 and managed to do very well.
Even though we took 9th place, it was a very good result for me and my family. My mom and dad both made their first World Series final table. And, 9th place out of 800-something people 800-something teams is not so bad. The final table was actually really tough looking back at it. So all in all, I'm happy with it. If you win the Ace-Jack versus Ace-7, you have a shot to win. So I was happy enough with that. I didn't realize this. I thought I did really well planning my off days, but tomorrow's the main event. So we're going to go to a show and to dinner tonight with my parents. I won some Love show tickets, which is a Cirque du Soleil show that features the Beatles music, at the Brad Garrett charity tournament. So we are going to go see that tonight. And then tomorrow's the main event. After that, there's a charity tournament and then the Bellagio Cup. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Also, I really do appreciate everyone watching these video blogs. They are fun to make, and I hope you enjoy them. If you have any comments or suggestions, please, please, please let me know. I want to do everything I can to make these as enjoyable as possible. It seems like about 15 minutes is a good timeline. So it's maybe a little bit long, but 15 minutes in 2 weeks, if you can cut 2 weeks down into 15 minutes is pretty good. Also, be sure to check out pokercoaching.com if you have not already. I've been working really hard to bring you a good interactive learning experience that will make you think about the game in ways you may not be doing. So check that out at pokercoaching.com. And, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And be sure to check back next time for another video blog.